Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet three of the driving forces behind Cornerstone Staffing. They've been practicing excellence for more than 33 years. Their incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So I am a self-confessed excellence freak. The only thing that drives me crazy as an owner of this company is if we're not being excellent. And the team knows that. Every single day we're going above and beyond the call of duty to make sure our clients are happy. And that's why I invited the three in the studio today, Miranda Emery, Todd Reimer, and Jody Smith with Cornerstone Staffing. Thanks for coming on the show.
Jeff.
Yes. So why don't we start with you, Jody, because excellence is in your DNA, isn't it?
It's learning. But Cornerstone started back in 1991. My husband Steve and I were very young. We had a 2-year-old, a 6-year-old, and we decided to go out into our own business. So needless to say, it was a family affair. And we struggled. It was small. Some of it was done out of the home. But we were able to get through every valley, and we made it to where we are now today. And Miranda and Todd are 2 perfect examples of a team that has never let Cornerstone down.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to hear from both of them in a second, but we found a great overview video you produced about a year ago. Let's go ahead and roll that.
People have always been and still are the most valuable resource in business.
A company can have a great product,
an amazing idea,
or a game-changing service,
and still be lost without a workforce to get the job done.
Skilled, dedicated employees are the fuel that drives a business to succeed.
Cornerstone opens doors of opportunity every day for qualified employees.
Our passionate and caring team of recruiters work hard to match amazing employees with amazing companies.
We know that finding the right fit requires insights beyond what's on the job description or resume.
Finding the right fit requires human connections.
For over 30 years, Cornerstone Staffing has fostered strong human connections.
We are experts at bridging the gap between job seekers and employers.
We understand that success goes both ways, and growth is critical for success.
At Cornerstone Staffing, promoting growth is what we do.
For our employees seeking work and our clients looking to fill positions.
Cornerstone Staffing is a family.
We live and work in the communities we service.
Our tenured colleagues have created long-term partnerships with our clients, many lasting for decades.
New colleagues are mentored under the Cornerstone core values
and inspired new, innovative ideas.
Our core values of faith, compassion, integrity, and self-discipline drive us to help.
Cornerstone Staffing.
Connections.
Community.
Caring.
Connect with us today at cornerstonestaffing.com.
So Todd, what impressed me most is when we saw the hire on date. I mean, some of these employees have been around for decades. Tell us more about the vibe at Cornerstone and why you love it so much.
Yeah, great question. It's such a wonderful company to work for. And the tenure is something very unique, especially in our staffing industry, in the industry we play in. It's kind of infamous for, pretty poor service and poor quality. And everybody has those stories of staffing companies they don't love and that had a bad taste in their mouth. And generally speaking, it's a pretty low barrier to entry to start a staffing firm, which is why it's so competitive in the marketplace. There's so many different staffing companies, and oftentimes it's kind of just a stepping stone for a lot of people. It's their stepping stone onto their next career, and they stop and they'll work at a staffing company for a year or two. But this is a relationship business. It truly is built on having strong relationships and meeting your clients, understanding your clients' needs, their culture, their company. And it takes time to learn those things and a lot of investment to really understand your clients and have that relationship. And that speaks to the importance of tenure. And the great thing that Jody has built with this company is retaining her key employees for the long run. It's unheard of in our industry to have an average tenure of 10 years. Cornerstone has an average tenure with a workforce of over 70, salespeople, back office people, and recruiters, over 70 having an average tenure of 10 years. And the fabulous thing on that is we do build those long-term relationships with our clients, really get to understand them and deliver what you talked about is deliver excellence to them. And that's what we stand up for day in and day out. And you can only deliver that excellence if you've got the experience and the expertise to do so. And so that's what we really stand up on in an industry that generally has a poor reputation. It's our competitive advantage is that we have such a established company with such a great reputation, and we deliver for our clients day in and day out, and we do whatever it takes to get the job done for them.
Miranda, Todd kept mentioning the word relationship, which I think is so important. It's not a transaction. You guys have had clients that have been with you for decades.
Right, we do. We have been in business for 33 years, and I know that we have clients still today that we worked with 33 years ago. That's unbelievable.
And when you talk about relationships with clients, this is personal for you. I mean, their success is your success.
Right. We really feel that way, that their success is our success. You said it. Building relationships with clients is my favorite part of our business because it really doesn't feel like work. I have made connections and strengthened relationships through this company in my 12 years here. People that have been to my wedding shower, been to my wedding, been to baby showers.
Yep.
It's family, and it's so much more than just a business or work. It's truly relationships that are long-lasting.
That's so inspiring. We're going to pull up the website, and as we scroll down the website, I want to go back to you, Jody. Is it amazing how much you've grown in 33 years? I mean, for this to be kind of a family business?
Definitely, Jeff, because when we first started, it was one office, downtown Fort Worth. That Fort Worth office is still there, but we've increased its size. But the growth happened almost organically, and both Miranda and Todd have talked about relationships, and our clients have almost helped us to grow. As we grew in the DFW area, things kept growing. We had clients come up to us, and it was right around pre-COVID, during COVID. Can you do business here? Can you go to Phoenix? I've got a job that I'd like to see. Could you go to North Carolina? So we have taken that. Our clients have helped us grow. Yes. Into other markets. And again, that's that relationship building, because they would never ask us, can you do something for us in Raleigh, if they didn't trust us.
Sure. We've got some video that we're going to run. This is from our library of just job interviews. And Todd, why don't you speak to, prepping the candidate for the interview, making sure that you've got the right candidate for the right company, for the right culture. What kind of work do you do on the front end to make sure this is going to be successful?
Yeah, it's a ton of work up front to build out a network of candidates that you can have a robust database of talent that when you are confident that a customer can come to you any given day and ask you for, anything from a receptionist to an accounting clerk to an infrastructure engineer on the IT side of things, that you're going to have the talent in your database. And that starts through, just having excellent, talent pipelines and getting out there in that marketplace and speaking with your candidates, your talent, screening them, understanding what their strong suits are, and what's going to make them marketable to your clients. And our recruiters are just experts at getting that out of a candidate and helping them upskill themselves to make sure that they're going to be able to be an attractive candidate in the marketplace. And with our relationships, it's a beautiful thing because we can put our stamp of approval on a candidate after we interview them and give them some tips of how to secure their next opportunity. But now that candidate as well comes from Cornerstone. And so they rise above all the other noise of the hundreds of candidates that are potentially applying directly on the website. They're now being, hand delivered by a Cornerstone recruiter that's got a relationship with this client. And by the way, we know this client as well, so we know how to play on a candidate's strong suits and how to coach them and let them know, hey, this is what's going to make you marketable. You've actually got these great skill sets. Don't be nervous in an interview. Let's get you comfortable. Let's practice and make sure you can actually talk about these strong suits that you have that you might not even necessarily realize and how to play on that. So being, career coaches is very important, and that's something we really focus on.
And I know you're also very passionate about women's business enterprise. Let's talk about that.
Recently, Jeff, we were awarded a very high status in the woman business enterprise. And it was a very difficult thing to get because the one thing Jody is probably a little more out there. I like dealing with people, but the whole end of researching everything I needed to put into it. And we finally applied for it and I got it. And what it means for my team is the ability to go above and beyond what we do today. Does it give us immediately more contracts? Absolutely not. But Todd could address a little bit more on what it really means for us.
Sure.
Yeah, overall, organizations, large enterprises, governments, there's obviously a big push to make sure that we've got the diversity in business. And part of that is making sure we're working with women-owned businesses. And we're a classic scenario of that. Jody is leading this company and growing this company, and we're by no means a small company, but we're expanding in more and more states, doing more business with large Fortune 500 companies and government entities. And those type of organizations typically have a big focus on working with diverse suppliers. And so this certification, as Jody kind of hit on, it's quite rigorous to go through the process and certification process to show that you truly are woman-owned and woman-led. And, you've got to be very involved, which Jody is, in the business to show that. But really, it's a story about it opens up opportunities, it opens up doors to us to continue to grow, which we're very thankful for that. And we're proud of our presence as a woman-owned business, and how many women are actually in our workforce at Cornerstone alone I think last count was 76% female. So, which is unique, but we're very proud of that. And there's
Miranda, do you want to add?
I'll elaborate on that. I just recently completed some requests for proposals, RFPs, big projects to work with government agencies, municipalities, and even another RFP was for a Fortune 100 company. And they always want to know, do you have any kind of certifications of being, woman-owned or minority? And they really try to support those suppliers. And so it's very exciting for me, being on the business development side, being able to check that box and say, yes, we are a woman-owned business nationally certified by the Women's Business Enterprise National Council.
Miranda, the buzzword right now is AI. Everybody wants to talk about AI, and robots can do something, but it still demands the human touch. Do you want to speak to how you haven't lost sight that it's not about a bot, it's about people?
Well, when people started, when AI first started buzzing around, I would joke that I can spell AI. What is that? What is this that everybody's talking about? But it's something that we've learned really quickly. Get with the times, right? So you've got to get on the bus or you're going to get left behind. So we have really made it a focus in the last couple of years to start utilizing AI and using that to leverage our business, because again, I don't want to be left behind. So we are working to use AI in our business as well as machine learning. It's just going to give us that, leg up on the competition, if you will.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to call this part of the interview story time. So I'm going to have to ask each one of you what your favorite story is of Cornerstone. Jody, let's start with you.
33 years of stories. How many hours do we have? We have talked about how good we do our business, how we're a team, and how we reach out and we develop the relationships. I think from the flip side is, how do we get people to stay within Cornerstone as long as they do? One of the things we do is we realize that we're a family, and we are a family of faith. But a couple years ago, we instituted something, and the very first time we did it was probably a very joyous moment for me. We had a 3-day trip down into the country, and we went to a ranch. All the colleagues and their spouses were invited, and all the kids were invited. So here I'm going, okay, I'm in my 60s. I've got people who are single, or their kids are grown. How's it going to happen? But to see myself as the oldest employee all the way down to the newest baby, which Miranda had mentioned, her family, it was a great memory, because it did show what a business that has grown, has become successful, can still maintain that family attitude. And I know that sounds maybe a little fluffy, but my team knows I'm there for them, and I know that they're there for me. And I think that helps us become better business people, because that goes on to our clients as well. The clients know we're there. They recognize our faces.
I love it. Todd, what's your favorite story?
Yeah, I'll talk about a story, and this happens often at our company. Every year we throw a huge client Christmas luncheon, and it's a time really to say thank you to all our clients for the business and to kind of give back to them. And it's great because we have the clients that come just year in and year out. It becomes one of their favorite events of the year, because Jody goes all out on these, by the way, and takes great care of our clients. But every year we have these stories where people come up to us and just thank us for the opportunity. And now they're leaders at companies. And this past year at our Christmas luncheon in downtown Fort Worth, I had one of our managers now come up to me and say, "Oh my God, Todd, do you remember me? I've moved on from this sales territory in Fort Worth. This was well over 10 years ago." And I'm like, "Yes, of course." He's like, "I'll never forget, I started at Cornerstone as a temp, and on the first day, you're there to greet me and say hello, and I wasn't expecting that. Later that week, you're coming out and talking to each one of the employees that started in my class, and you're checking in, you're bringing candy bars and just helping us, and you're there, and then continue to see you." And, then I went permanent, and I moved on to other sales territories, and I've continued my journey with Cornerstone and to where I am today. But, 10 years ago, that happened, and now fast forward, she's at this company, and now she's one of our hiring managers. She's a leader. And we made that impression on this, candidate that we placed just in a temp role. And she was so thankful for the opportunity, because she was kind of lost, and we were able to give her that direction and give her a shot, give her a chance. And she's obviously flourished. And she remembers that. And of course, now she's one of our trusted clients.
That's so cool. And I love the way your eyes light up when you tell these stories. All right, Miranda?
I'm laughing because Todd's hitting on how we do quality checks with our clients, and this is something that not everyone in our industry does. And sometimes whenever you show up and there's a contractor there on site, they're like, "Why are you here?" This is, they're like, "Am I getting terminated or what's going on?" So it's good to hear the good stuff too. They're glad to see us show up. I have a great story. So my favorite story with Cornerstone is, I actually came to Cornerstone looking for a job and looking to exit the job that I was currently working. And I was looking at some sales jobs, and, I saw you had this job on your website, and they said, the recruiter that I was talking with, who's actually still with us in our professional placement division, she said, "What about working for us? What about working for Cornerstone?" And I thought, I don't know anything about staffing. I didn't even know that was a business, like, what even is that? And I was like, "No, I don't know." And she's like, "No, really, let me tell you about this." And so as she started talking about the position, I thought, well, I could do that. That's just talking to people and building relationships and making connections and networking. And here I am all these years later still, and it's just amazing how it kind of went full circle. I reached out to Cornerstone looking for a job, and then, they hired me internally.
glad for that.
Such a beautiful story. Okay, we're almost out of time. So, Jody, we're going to give you the final word. What would you like to leave people with?
Wow, tough question, but good question. There are companies, there are businesses out there who really, really do what they say. And I think we've had several good examples from Miranda and Todd and myself about why Cornerstone has had the success. But again, there's nothing I've ever heard anybody in my company say they couldn't try to do. And we put our hearts into it. Our families are quite invested into the colleagues, and Cornerstone's done it. We've survived, we've gotten there, and we continue to grow. But again, we're a company of faith, and I believe that puts us heads and tails above.
Well, congratulations. I can see why you're so successful, and thank you for your commitment to excellence. We're going to end with the website, which is, of course, cornerstonestaffing.com. Thank you all for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.